this is Country Carrie, and I want to encourage you to learn how to sew. So you can learn by a friend, a family member, probably even YouTube now, or a sewing conference. These are some things I made at a sewing conference I went to. Some fun little bags, lined makeup bag, even my sewing machine cover I've made at a sewing conference. And so there's different ways to sew, learn how to sew. You can even try to get together as a community and have somebody teach you. So there's lots of ways to learn how to sew. One of the benefits is I had a friend, my friend Cheryl gave me this apron. She says, I have an apron that just looks like you. I need to give it to you. So she gave it to me and I went, ooh, I can see that's going to be my gardening apron. So what I did is I took it, I cut it off this much. And then I hemmed the bottom. And then I put the part that I had cut off, I ironed it, zigzagged it, and stitched it across. So now I have a top piece that is hemmed. The bottom piece was already hemmed, so no big deal. I just sewed it across the sides and the bottom. And now I just need to finish it off by lining up this other part and sewing it on. And I will do that. I just was trying to make it go a little faster so you didn't have to sit and watch so much. I'm hoping this will help me to be able to have my seeds handy instead of going back and forth to get them. So depending on your height, you can cut it off to whatever height works for you. I'm a little bit on the shorter side. I always thought I was average till I found a lot of friends that are a lot taller than me. Now it doesn't have to be exact. Remember, that's the wonderful part of being country, is it doesn't have to be exact. Although I am a little bit of a picky sewer. I like to line up my lines. So right here, it's going to flow. This blue line will flow down. And what this is going to do is it's going to create the pockets for the apron. Now up at the top, especially where it's going to have a lot of where your hands go in and out, I am going to reinforce it well so that it'll be less likely to rip. Something you might want to consider is actually even sewing from the bottom up. I had just a tiny pucker. If you didn't want to have that, if you sewed from the bottom up, that would eliminate that. I had a sewing teacher in high school say the difference between a quality piece of work and an unquality, I guess. What makes a quality piece of work is if you trim your threads, is what she said. So I'm going to just sew on the outer edge right here. I'm actually going to sew from the bottom up this time. The only difference is I have to look on a different side of the foot. Oh, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Looks like my bottom, I didn't line up my bottom thread good enough. So if that happens to you, just know that if your top thread and your bottom thread aren't put towards the back, it's more likely to jam up like that. Okay, let's try it again. Ah, much better. So make sure you put your threads towards the back when you sew. And again, I'm going to reinforce this sewing a little bit more up at the top to add strength. I want a quality piece of work, so I'm clipping my threads. Okay, so now I have all of my pockets, which are fun. All of these pockets that I'm going to be able to put seeds in. Now what I did for the top is I measured it so that it would fit and where I wanted it, and I cut off the excess because it has one of these connectors right here. And what I did was I made a place for my claw rake. So I wanted to show you how to attach that. So here's that piece I cut off. I'm just adding it here. I'm actually putting it at the very bottom of the pocket so that it can add strength to it. And I sewed it this way, and I'm going to flip it this over, and I'm going to sew right here, and then that will be a stronger hold. And then I'm just going to tuck this part under and sew that, and then I will have a little loop for my claw hammer. I won't take the time to sew that with you here, but just know then that way it'll be fun to have. I could put my claw rake right there, and that will work. Something else that I did with little loop-de-loo things is I cut some off of my hot pads, and I put two of them right here. Because I wear cheater glasses and sunglasses outside, I wanted to have some place to put them. So when I'm reading if the ones I have envelopes for that tells me how deep and how far apart to plant, I'll have my cheater glasses, and I'll also have a place for my sunglasses. So that's what I made right here. And so it's really fun to be able to sew, to make things, to make what you want. And it's going to be just darling and fun to take this when I go planting my garden. Now what I also did in this little kit that I got from Cheryl, also little packet, it also came with hot pads. So what I decided to do is to turn that into, also my gardening theme, is to turn that into something I can kneel on. So when I am kneeling down and planting, that I'm not having my knees in the dirt. And so what I did, waste not, want not, I took a pair of sweats that were getting worn out. And these were actually from my mom. They were my mom's, and she would just love the thoughts that I turned it into something fun. And then I opened it up. It's easier if you open it all the way up so it's kind of flat. And put on my hot pads, pinned them, sewed them around, had it wrong sides together. like that to sew it closed. Now I'm going to leave a little spot here to be able to pull everything through so it will be right sides out. And then when I do that, I'm going to finish zigzagging along the edge. The reason I want to do that, it's going to help it so that it doesn't roll. It'll help keep its shape better. And then that way, I will have not only my gardening apron, but also my knee pad. And they will be a matching set. How fun is that? So I want to, again, encourage you to learn how to sew. And yes, have fun sewing. If you like this, please subscribe so that you can continually get these country tips on a regular basis without having to search for them. And also, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Thanks, and have fun sewing.